What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Diesel Creek. My name's Matt, and if you know me, you know that I like junk. And you know a great place to get some junk? The Ritchie Brothers auction. That's right, it's one of my favorite times of year. This is auction time. So today is the 12th, 13th. So today's the last day to come out here and review this equipment before it goes off. The auction starts tomorrow, so let's get out here and have a walk around and see what kind of stuff we can get into. Put her in the ketchup.
Radio works. As long as the radio works, I'll take it.
Well, she's a dandy. Oh, it's got Mickey Thompson's on it. Oh, yeah. All the horsepower.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, it's already got a Jasper engine in it.
Well, it would seem it is just my luck. I don't know if it was the camera screwed up and deleted the footage, or if I just didn't press record when I thought I did. But me and my buddy Bob went out to the auction here. We usually go out here and check some things out. You never know what we're going to find and what we might decide that we have to have that day. Anyways, this is just us doing a little bit of inspecting and a good sample to show you what kind of stuff is out here at the auction. We'll have a little gander here at some of the stuff for sale, and then we'll pick back up as the auction's proceeding and see what kind of prices things are bringing. There's still a lot of shortage of equipment, although things are getting better from what I understand, but that usually translates to used equipment selling a lot higher. Obviously, if you can't get new stuff, where do you go? You go buy used stuff. So the prices have been pretty crazy in the last few auctions. We'll see what happens this go round.
These are those kind that idle up to whatever demand that you need, too. They don't just sit there wide open. It's nice.
Yeah, auto throttle.
Yeah. Ooh. This thing seems peppy. Look at that. Red stitched leather trim. Oh, this is the racing model. Man. Anybody know where a fella could find a good welder at? Good Lord. They have some welders here. I think a lot of the stuff at this auction is coming from the shell cracker plant they're building in Beaver, PA, which isn't too far from here. I think that's where all these welders are coming from. Well, they ain't wrong. I hope they're not trying to sell all these pallets. I don't know anybody stupid enough to buy all those. You can get those for free anywhere around here. I am trying to get my hands on some of these barrier blocks, though. These always come in handy. They got these concrete buggies here listed for parts are inoperable. That's my favorite kind. So we'll keep an eye on them, see what they do. I don't need a concrete buggy, especially two of them, but if the price is right. Here's a dandy that's in the parts and inoperable aisle. I got a pretty good deal on my $700 crane truck, but this is a far superior crane and truck. It's got an 8.3 Cummins in it. It's a tandem, beautiful national crane. I think this thing probably reaches up 80 feet with the jib on it. This thing is awesome. And it looks really clean too. I can't believe it's in the parts aisle. Kind of wonder what the issue is here. There's the load chart. Oh, wow. So I don't know if this is considered a first or second jib. Oh no, it has two. So this thing max reach will get up to like 132 feet. Wow, that's awesome. This is a serious crane here. We'll keep our eye on it. We sure don't need it, but you know, the price is right. Yeah, nice and clean interior. Well, that doesn't look good. There's engine parts laying here, but it's got an 8.3 Cummins in it, so that's why its parts are inoperable. Now, I don't want to crank it over because there's valves sitting on the seat, so something's awry. Well, I don't know. The engine seems to be all together from everything I can see right here. I don't know where those spare parts came from. I don't know. Interesting. Downpipes off the turbo. That's probably not good. Could you beat the turbos out of it? This is something I'm interested in. I don't like the Dodge, but man, I do like that power plant. I would like to get this truck and then put a real service bed on it. The price of trucks is just astronomical right now. It does have a nice aluminum bed on it, but really not the best for my needs. I like the black too. It's pretty nice. So this truck pretty much fits my bill except for this. I really hate four-wheel drive on the dash. I much prefer it on the floor with a manual linkage that you can actually physically engage. It's just, why? What is so hard about a manual lever? Why do you need to just be able to flick a switch? Other than that, I like this truck. Well, other than that, I like this truck. But 101,000, so that's just broken in. And it's pretty clean. Otherwise, the interior is nice. Nothing's ripped up or torn up. It seems to be in good shape. As Zip Ties would say, you don't need to worry about having all the tires on your trailer. What's in this thing? Ooh! It's like a mobile workshop. That's pretty nice. This is really nice, actually. Huh.
There was.
Yeah, there was a generator here. Somebody stole it.
Big plug for it.
Huh. Ah, it's like the first Dodge we started here that didn't just tap like crazy. Yeah, it actually does sound pretty good. Shame about the Dodge though. Bed on it's pretty nice, but I'm not a big fan of the single rear wheel service beds because the boxes are so shallow in them.
Got a CB radio.
Oh, buddy, we'd be Billy Big rigging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not deep enough, you know? Yeah.
Must be, oh sure.
Oh, this comes from the cracker plant for sure. That's pretty cool. Got a whole AC unit ripped off the side of it apparently.
Floor's kind of buckled up here. That's probably not good. I'll guarantee these were brand new when they got put on that site a couple years ago too. They just destroyed them.
I know, that's what's crazy. How do you destroy them that quick?
I don't know. This one's only a 30 footer. Got a lot of cool Union stickers on it already. That's pretty cool. Maybe this one's in better shape. More interested in the 30 footer anyway. Oh, it isn't definitely in better shape. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the party in here.
Oh, yeah, I'd buy this.
Smells good.
Yeah, these guys took care of this one. It seems wider than the other one for some reason too. Anybody know what this thing is? Some sort of big gravity pot. Does some sucking and blowing or something. I don't know. Pretty crazy looking. Well, they got a pile of tankers here. Ton of them. There's a row down that way and a row behind this, all tankers. There's a good bit of storage, huh? I've seen these box trailers sell for $400 or $500. You guys recognize this thing? This is the next size up from the model we just fixed a couple videos ago. I've had kicking around my place for quite a while. I think this is a, yeah, this is a twin cylinder Hots diesel. This is a nicer unit for sure. Looks like it used to be a Sunbelt rental, judging by the green paint. Yeah. La batería es no bueno. Battery's dead. Finally got down here into the earth moving stuff. Seems like every time this auction comes around, there's less and less earth moving stuff in it, but that's all right. There's still deals to be had here on just about anything if you look hard enough. Tell you what, if you're in need of a flatbed trailer, they have got you covered up. Good Lord, the flatbed trailers. We got big, tough looking loaders down there at the end, and you come all the way down here and you got the ugly duckling of loaders. These case loaders, I think, are just, I don't know. They look terrible. And this one looks like it's had more than a few hot suppers. Got a nice new seat in it though, I'll give it that. Looks comfortable. Let's see. Is it gonna start? Wowzers! This thing fired right up. That's pretty impressive. Because if somebody needs a little farm machine, this is a good little machine. I can't believe how fast this thing just fired up. I tell you what, it's an ugly duckling, but that'd make a good little farm machine for somebody. That's a nice little size. All the hydraulics seem really quick and responsive. I like it. It's ugly, that's all. This thing's pretty nifty. Somebody let me know if you know about cranes. I really don't know that much about them. Is this winch like a recovery winch, or is this for like controlling your load? So you lift the load with the load line and then use that to like kind of pull it in and out, something like that. I have no idea. Or is it like for pulling the machine out if it gets stuck, like a recovery winch? It's got this cool little propane generator rigged up on the side of it too, an old Wisconsin. I don't know if that's for like working a magnet. That's pretty nifty. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Judging by the battery that's on it, doesn't look like it's been running quite a while. That's an old sucker there. That's an old generator. Well, I'm gonna guess I answered my own question here. There's a power connector here at the end of the boom, which runs back to a cable spool, which would go in and out with the telescoping boom. And that cable runs clear back to the generator here. So I'm gonna guess that is for sure for a magnet. I don't know what else you would need power at the end of your line for. Magnet's the only thing I can think of. Two beautiful pieces here that I am excited about. I saw that one online, but this one was not listed on the site yet. This is a good sized machine. This is a perfect replacement for my Komatsu that I have now. This is an 85D, which I believe makes this thing weigh in somewhere around 20,000 pounds, something like that. It's a nice sized machine, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's got the steel tracks with rubber pads bolted to them, which I'm a fan of. So you don't have like a real rubber track like I'm on my skid steer. You have an actual track system. I think these are tougher and hold up better in the long run. It has a tag manual coupler on it, but I'm not a fan of this type of system. It makes the bucket waller around on there pretty good. But I think the coupler from my Komatsu would fit on this thing, as well as the hydraulic thumb. Well, we got a little bit of a dirty cab, but I've seen worse. Seats all in one piece, doesn't look like a pit bull weighed it. That's good. This thing should have heat and air conditioning, which is awful nice. The cab is a bit more cramped than my Komatsu, but it's not awful. I could live with it. I'm not a fan of the pedals. I'm a big believer in using the pedals to walk the machine around, and these ones, they're hard for me to use because the cab's a bit tight, and man, they're slippery. I'd have to put some sort of grippy something or other on there, or make steel pedals. I don't like that. That's a pain, but that's something we could repair and mend and fix or alter to our liking. I guess let's see if this thing's gonna fire up. Oh yeah. Now, it is pretty cold out here, so that little stammering at the beginning here is not bothering me. That's pretty nice. Let's give her a little throttle. Oh, smooths right up. Oh yeah, I like that. This thing sounds good. Got 5,500 hours on it. That means this thing's gonna bring some money, unfortunately. You know me, I like to be cheap. All right, let's try this thing out here. It's already set on cat control, so that's good. Like I suspected, the bucket's a little loose on there because of the type of coupler that it is. But the machine itself feels really nice and smooth. Pretty happy with that. I just picked up one rock. How about that? I'm good. One rock. See you do that? Let's dig 18, huh? Blade's nice and smooth. Looks like we're tracking around pretty good. Yeah, everything sounds good there. All right. No engine codes or anything. I like it. Alright, well, I'm pretty happy with this unit. This seems like a nice one. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on this guy. This big green rusty behemoth is something I'm definitely interested in. So what is this big behemoth? And well, I guess it's not really a behemoth, but it's a pretty good sized dozer. This thing weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000 pounds. And it's green because it's a Terex. So these are not widely common, at least not in my area, but they were regarded, from what I've read, as good machines. This is an 8220, later renamed a D700A. This one has a 671 Detroit in it. And I think since it's labeled a D700A, I think this is 235 horse, something like that, which is pretty good power for a tractor this size. It's got a tilt blade on it, which is nice. Hoses are pretty mangled there, and it appears this machine has sat for a long time. So the operator's area is in fairly rough shape. Armrest missing over here, that one's rotted off. Ooh, the fuel smells rancid. It's been in there a long time, but I have no doubt that the Detroit would still just eat it right up. So this is set up a bit different than my dozer or other dozers of the time, I do believe. I think this is a mid-80s, something like that. Anyway, you got your steer clutches over here rather than being directly in front of you, which is kind of nice. I do like that. And then you've got your transmission, forward and reverse obviously, and then you got 1, 2, 3 on the sides there, but it makes you come back to first to shift or reverse, which is kind of nice. So that's pretty good. It's got a horn. It's got no batteries in it. The top of the air cleaner, or the breather I should say, the breather's missing, and I don't know if you guys can see, but down inside there it is just packed full of leaves and debris and no doubt mouse nests and everything else. I've never been around one of these tractors. I've been around some of the bigger ones, but it seems like it's pretty well designed as far as serviceability. You can get right to your fill filters here. I assume that's an oil filter there. That's easy to get to. Right inside of this door, we have a transmission dipstick and a couple filters back here. Doesn't appear to be any oil on the dipstick, so that's probably not good. Got moss growing in the door here. Don't think this machine's seen a lot of action in a long time. It looks like it's had some vinage growing up through the radiator grill cover here. And speaking of the radiator, that's one of the things that's unique to this machine, is the placement of the radiator. It's in the rear of the machine, which is nice because you don't eat all the dust and dirt all day every day and clog up the radiator, but it's bad if you're a careless operator and you're doing clearing or something and you're backing into stuff. And it also puts that hot radiator pretty much right underneath the operator, so that sucks. The undercarriage appears to be in really good shape on this unit. Sprockets look good on it. Track chains don't seem to have hardly any wear at all on them. They look nice and tight. The grousers themselves are worn down a bit. Aside from having a couple holes in it, and it looks like it's getting a little thin down here. The blade is in pretty good shape, but one patch panel and a little single small hole patch there would be just sufficient. Cutting edges look good on it. Another indicator that this thing has been sitting a long time is this dirt line. It looks like this thing probably actually sunk into the ground like 4 inches there. It takes quite a while for these cutting edges made out of this hardened steel to really start rusting heavily like that. But it's a unique dozer, which makes it something I'm interested in. I think this would be a lot of fun to take up to the steam show, use up there, or even use it on the farm, or take the jobs. Since I have that new auto car, once I get that truck converted into my tractor, I should be able to pull this thing around with my lowboy just fine. Well, it's got oil and it's a Detroit, so it's gonna run. Well, that's not good. I just noticed this.
somehow water is getting down inside of the canopy here, and it actually froze and cracked this square tubing. It's like partially rounded because of the freezing water has ruined that tube over the years. So we would probably have to weld that up to feel good about it being strong again. This side over here appears to have the same thing going on, which is pretty weird. I kind of wonder how water's getting down inside of that. Usually that's sealed up pretty well. Ah, yeah, that'll do it. Questions answered, huh? Obviously buying machines like this as is kind of a gamble, but I've had pretty good luck doing it. Plus, if all else fails, it's good content for you guys. Cylinder looks to be in okay shape. That is very interesting there. So I've never seen anything like this. On a typical double acting cylinder, you'll have a hydraulic port on this side and at the rear, and that puts fluid on either side of a piston in there and drives the rod in and out. This one only has a port at the gland end of the cylinder and has a port here on the actual rod itself, which is bizarre. I have to imagine that means that there's a port drilled all the way through the center of this rod, and that puts the fluid on the back side of the cylinder here. And I guess the idea there was to keep the lines tucked up tight to the blade here so you wouldn't have them hanging way down there and getting caught on stuff. I've never seen anything like that. That's weird. Ooh, doggy! Well, contrary to popular belief, I've never in fact ridden the short bus. But man, I'll buy one. Look at that. This must have been a pipeline bus. It's got a pipe bumper on there. They use these for hauling welders, usually, up and down the right-of-way. And according to the website, this baby has a 5.9 Cummins in it. So that makes me interested. Oh yeah, there's room to party in here. Cut off switch and battery box.
This is just hauling people, right?
Yeah, she's classic. All right, I just found the battery shut-off switch. Let's see if this thing's gonna fire up. Oh, it sounds good. What do you guys think? The old Cummins gonna fire up? Oh yeah. Oh. Yep. I like it. Why are you beeping at me? Low coolant level. I don't care. We're not running it that long. See if it goes forward and backward. Where's the park brake there? Oh yeah. Get on the bus, Bob! Heck yeah. Oh yeah. We probably need this. Yep, we're gonna have to see what happens with that school bus there. We might need that kind. I think that's probably gonna wrap up preview of the auction. We'll
pick up tomorrow when everything's going off on the computer. They don't do any more live bidding, unfortunately. Well, it's auction day here. I got ring 1 and 2 playing over in the background here. We're selling off some boom lifts right now. Going a little out of my price range. But anyways, over here, I'm just adding everything to my watch list in the timed auction. For some reasons, one thing I do not like about Ritchie Brothers website, you can have everything in your normal watch list over here. But then once you go into the timed auction, your watch list is empty. I don't understand why these watch items don't just automatically populate into that timed auction watch list, but they don't. So I run right down through the timed auction numbers again and add them up over here. And so I've got all these up in my timed auction watch list. And I'm actually winning some bids right now. I just threw a couple bucks on this thing because nobody had bid on it. And I have some concrete blocks here I'm kind of chasing. So I kind of put my max bid on those, $350 and $425. We'll see what happens there. I don't have an immediate use for those, but they're close to home, and that's usually the deal with getting these concrete blocks, is they're a pain to transport because they weigh 3,000 pounds a piece, so you can't haul too many at one time. So when they're close to home like this, I'll spend a little bit more money on them, and they're nice to have around. I do find uses for them. Look at this. This blew my mind. These rig mats here, these are just like hard plastic mats. And I assume that they're not cheap, but I couldn't believe that with a day left, they're going for $2,300. That's nuts. But there's some real nice fans here I found we're looking at. And this was stuff I didn't even see when I was out there. But I keep an eye on the containers just in case any of them go real cheap. This thing here, kind of curious. It was a whole restroom deal. I don't think I showed you guys this. But it's like a portable restroom. And it's got a bunch of toilets in it and everything. I don't need it, obviously. But, I mean, it's only going for $750 right now. I kind of just keep an eye on this kind of stuff just to satisfy my curiosity. You never know what stuff goes for. These little generators here, these 3 kWs, these are really nice little electric start generators. They're super quiet. I love those things. So anyway, we're down to this Terex D700. And man, I thought for sure this thing was going to get zero attention. But it's actually already up to $1,100, and it doesn't even go off till tomorrow at 1:30. So maybe we're going to have a little bit of competition on this thing. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't want to say anything. But the crane truck here, the really nice crane truck, only sitting at $650. I only gave $700 for the last one. Old Grove, only sitting at $1,600 too. Not a bad deal at all right now, but the last 20 minutes pretty much is when all the bidding happens. So we'll come back to this when things are a little bit closer to the wire. Well, guys, this video ended up being quite a bit longer than I imagined, but I think it's pretty good. So it's going to work out well that I split this here, and you'll see why in the second part. So if you guys got any ideas of what you think I'm going to pick up from the auction here today, go ahead and drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think really caught my eye, or what you think was a good deal and I ended up picking up. So that's all for this one. As always, guys, if you liked the video, do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel out, doesn't cost you guys a thing. And if you haven't already, be sure you hit that subscribe button so I can see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Later.